What is poppin', boys and girls? Appreciate you popping in or popping by. We got a lot to unpack today. It's Prof here. Welcome and welcome back to the classroom. I hope all of y'all are settling into the holiday season well. Yeah, I didn't have a good segue. You saw the title. We're gonna talk about a killer snowman. Only because it was so bad, I'm in love with it. So today we're gonna look at Jack Frost, written and directed by Michael Cooney, who hasn't directed a movie since the Jack Frost movies. I'm sure you'll understand why. It's a holiday slasher from the 90s, and oh, it is aged like fresh eggnog.
Milk was a bad choice.
However, it's a movie about a killer snowman. You know what you're getting into. But if you think that means I'm not gonna nitpick it as a viewer, you must be new here.
Oh yeah.
And if you're new here, spoilers.
Hands up, ready, I need all that. Ready, throw it in the bag. I need all that. Throw it in the bag, go.
So the movie takes place in Snowmanton. I guess they just couldn't help themselves because it's about a snowman. So these guards are transporting Jack Frost, a notorious murderer, to be executed. And if I was gonna say, show me a person who looks like he's gonna be executed,
Say, pal, how about a smoke?
this would fit the bill. Of course the truck gets into an accident, but I hope they stop at these spinning camera angles. They don't. Ugh, it's giving me motion sickness. Ugh. So the guard climbs out of the driver's seat and Jack's just standing there, cigarette in hand, not giving a fuck. Now I know what you're thinking. I'm not gonna talk about how Jack survived the crash when it was spinning like Brittany Renner's lifestyle. I'm not gonna talk about how his outfit looks like it's perfectly pressed after the crash. But you held on to the cigarette? So movie science happens and a mysterious canister explodes. Looks like the bottom of a water slide. It's honestly pretty gross. This guy had the appropriate reaction. We cut to this couple talking about Jack Frost and they don't really explain much, they just flash back to Jack Frost being arrested and oh my god, the dialogue.
It's your move, Sheriff.
This movie takes place in the United States. If a wanted criminal did something like this to a police officer, we'd be reading about it. I won't bring it up again after this, but I would have better camera quality if I dug out one of my old flip phones. You might be thinking, Prof, why be so harsh? It's a B movie with a low budget. You'd be wrong. Keep in mind that this movie had a $40 to an upwards of $85 million budget. And The Matrix was made 2 years after, and it looks like two different sides of a coin when it was only made with $63 million. $80 million! Turns out the flashback is just the sheriff off in his own world, and his wife says nothing. Like, dog, you good? You sure you should be driving? We have a kid in the back. While I'm ranting, child actors are the worst and this kid is no better. And he tries to serve his dad some slop. Boy, you need to spend some more time in the kitchen with your son. Oh, right on time. The sheriff goes on patrol and of course there's a snowman competition going on in Snowmanton. They literally can't help themselves. Hold up. I live in the northern part of the United States and it snows a lot. There is no way that is enough snow to build a respectable snowman. Like, it's not even enough to get started. Anyway, the sheriff throws away his kid's sludge and hears him through the force and decides to dig it out of the trash and you're like,
But Daddy, I made those oats special for you.
oh, that's gonna come up later. The sheriff goes to his office and accidentally has the best joke of the entire movie.
Ryan and Ann told me that they had a really gnarly time. What's the matter? Somebody die?
Jokes aside, the sheriff goes to confirm with the FBI if Jack Frost was actually executed. Basically, the FBI guy is in on it because he doesn't tell the sheriff what's really going on. And with another person being murdered, the town is reasonably panicked and do the most American thing possible.
All hours, anybody wants to buy extra ammo, huh? 20% discount for an emergency.
Speaking of 20% off, use code PROF for... Nah, I'm kidding. Maybe one day. So back at the sheriff's house, there's a snowman outside that nobody knows who built, and Boy goes to finish it, and we meet the typical bully, like the dumb one there's no reasoning with.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Look, nobody says nothing behind my back.
He makes the fatal mistake of knocking Jack's head off, and the snowman is not happy about it, and proceeds to return the favor. The parents of the bully are obviously pissed and want to hold someone responsible.
It couldn't have been a fight. Billy is 2 feet taller than Ryan.
Too soon.
He's usually not so short-tempered.
This is the time where I want to point out some of the dialogue just doesn't make sense. Like, of course this is the time for him to have a short temper. His son just passed. Like, who wrote this? But Boy keeps saying it was the snowman and obviously nobody believes him. They cut to the bully's family and when I say overacting, I mean it.
Hey, and And where in God's name you think you're prowling off to like some lady of the night? Her grief isn't good enough for you? You may not have cared for your little brother.
Jesus, Dad, I loved Billy.
Do not be forsaking the Lord's name in my house, little girl!
The Lord forsook this house long ago.
And the Oscar goes to...
These are the kind of people you see in a horror movie and you're like, oh, you're gonna die next. The husband goes outside to chop wood and we get to see our villain in his full glory. And I'm blown away in the worst way possible. Boy got the Anthony Davis eyebrows and a Henny bottle shaped body. I cannot take him seriously. I'm getting off track. Oh yeah, remember that family? Yeah, they die. The angry father had an accident. Oh, come on. You knew it was coming.
I only asked you for a smoke.
See? His wife goes to sit down and seriously every time Jack makes an appearance, I find myself just bursting into laughter. This is the second time we've seen Jack vanish into thin air, so now we know what we're up against. He's clearly trained with Goku. Jack gets the wife out of there with these Christmas lights and oh my god, it's like stock YouTube music. It's so strange that they didn't show Jack talking most of the time, and most of his lines come when the snowman is off screen, and I think it would have been amazing to watch him deliver some of these one-liners.
Oh ho, and what's your name, little boy?
Like, come on, it's a movie about a killer snowman. Go all in. I just don't know why they didn't. $80 million. Sheriff goes back to his office and runs into the same agent that he was on the phone with earlier, and he's just sitting there, and he gives the most strained answer ever.
FBI?
Sure, why not?
I know y'all spoke to each other earlier, but with people being murdered, you'd think anything but a straight answer would be suspicious. But nah, so in light of everything going on, the sheriff imposes a curfew and then immediately defeats the purpose of it after.
Under the advisement of the local federal officers, I am going to put the town under a 24-hour curfew. Listen, I'm not going to arrest you if you're just walking down the street. I'm not going to waste my time, but...
Jeez, I'd feel safe. It's just so over the top at this point.
Hey! Fucker's a snowman! Fucker's a snowman!
But I guess most people would react that way after seeing a murderous snowman. What was that sound effect? Was that you backhanding the subscribe button? But now that's two people saying a snowman was responsible for 2 deaths, and this officer leaving the crime scene. And in the middle of the street, you see the most diabolical looking snowman I've ever seen. And you don't immediately think that there's danger? Now, you might not jump immediately into Killer Snowman, but when he disappears, you don't run for your life or jump back into the car. You, my good sir, need to be fired. Never mind. That was the slowest reverse ever. Wait, why did I skip past that? Yeah, the snowman steals the police car. I guess the snowman can grow feet. Because I know he doesn't have feet. You told me that earlier.
He couldn't run. It was like he was trying to... He didn't have the legs.
But Jack takes the police car to the sheriff's house where his wife is getting blankets and the deputy shows up and Jack bides his time for some reason. I don't know why. He's been killing everybody else so easily. Imagine, the murderer doesn't feel like murdering. I do think it's just to pad the length of the movie. This hour-and-a-half movie could be wrapped really tightly with a bow in an hour, easily. So as wife leaves the sheriff house, these 2 teenagers see the opportunity to sneak into his house for some holiday cheer.
Are you gonna come or not?
Too easy. I also don't know why she blow dries her hair before getting in the shower. Enlighten me in the comments. So the guy hears some noise and of course he has to go investigate it. And I just have to share with you this cinematic gem. Remember when I said I wanted to see this snowman deliver those one-liners? But when he does, it does not disappoint.
I said, who's out there?
Well, it ain't fucking Frosty!
Oh yeah, and guy gets iced. Meanwhile, Jack slides into the hot tub after while girl is taking a bath and he bangs her to death. And I know what you're thinking, and kinda. He's a snowman. I'm so confused.
Looks like Christmas came a little early.
It doesn't make any sense. I should have turned my brain off long ago. It's a movie about a killer snowman, prof. Let it go. Cut back to the sheriff's office when Jack shows up. The sheriff pulls out a hairdryer, and I can't decide if I'm mad about it even as I'm recording this because it does work, even though Jack clearly has on oven mitts until it unplugs. Anyways, they blow his ass up with some bug spray and bullets, which obviously doesn't work. That would just melt him, which he's done the entire movie, and just puts himself back together. Jack is this movie's saving grace.
Look, Ma! I'm a Picasso!
Because the line delivery in this movie is killing me.
We might just be your only hope.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
So we finally get an explanation of what happened to Jack. The science guy's acid that sprayed Jack at the beginning of the movie turned him into the Snowman because he was in snow and it binds with human DNA. I don't know. We're just gonna say movie science. But it proves that the human soul exists, and science guy wants to preserve Jack as proof. But he's a nearly immortal homicidal maniac who's a snowman during a snowstorm. Good luck with that. So the three stooges get the whole town in on their plan, and they all have hair dryers. How many of those did they have ready to plug in? Jack is outside. Did they all go home first? I don't understand. And apparently they got their blow dryers from Hogwarts, because in one cut, they ambushed Jack upstairs, and in the very next cut, they're in the basement. Who is the editor? God damn it. The priest is like exercising him with his blow dryer and shit. Anyway, they somehow trapped Jack in the furnace, but he won't be chilled that easily.
Blow me.
Get it? Because they use blow dryers. Jack tries to possess Science Guy, but reveals himself right away and throws himself up. I don't know what the point of that was. Dear directors, please stop showing people throw up on screen. We don't want to see that. From everyone. So Sheriff and Boy are doing their best Dominic Toretto impression, and Jack catches up with them because what can't he do at this point? He's literally possessing bodies. He's gone full anime villain. So Sheriff is getting his son out of the car and hits Jack with the slop that son tried to feed him earlier, which starts to burn him because his son put antifreeze in his food so it wouldn't be cold. I just think that's funny because you can see the antifreeze in the earlier scene while he's making the oats. I just think it's, of all things, they thought of that. Like, ooh, they might notice the antifreeze wasn't in the scene. Also, his mom was standing there supervising, right? No way that she missed that unless she was in... Oh. Anyway, Sheriff is ecstatic to find out something worked against Jack, even though his son almost poisoned him. The Sheriff plays out this Scooby-Doo scene while buying time for the backup to come with antifreeze. But Jack impales Sheriff, and it's borderline inappropriate. But I mean... we've passed that point. But the Sheriff tackles Jack out of a window into a truck of antifreeze right on time as it's backing up. We can just get past that part, right? Okay, my brain is literally flatlined at this point. Jack gets the Wicked Witch of the West treatment. They tease a sequel, and that's the end of the movie. Well, what did we learn today, boys and girls?
Don't eat yellow snow.
Couldn't help it, sorry. Seriously, if you've made it this far, make sure you consider leaving a like and backhanding that subscribe button. Tickle that noti bell for all my latest content. It just means you get to see the next video. I appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping by. It's Prof. I'm out of here.
I be speeding through the lights, running out of time. I be breaking hearts, guess she ain't see the signs. I got too much on the line. All I do is go. I got too much on my mind. All I do is smoke. All I do is smoke.